today, man. We're moving right along. December 8th, 2023. So good to see everybody. I'm John Lee with St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association, here with Laura, Amber, Lloyd. It looks like Stacy, Heath, Joe, Ann, Melissa. There's a bunch of people coming in. Come on in. And I guess we get started. Lloyd, do you have anything you want to say before we?
I guess just a couple of reminders. I heard you let everybody know we're not having a breakfast in December on the. It had been the second Tuesday of the month, which will be next Tuesday. So we're not going to be having that just because of a lot of conflicts in schedule. And also we're thinking about we're actually planning to go back to the lunch format. Grace Waitman Reed is checking out going back to the Applebee's where we used to do it before, pre-pandemic days. So we'll be announcing that. They're probably starting up in February though, because we don't get our newsletter out we won't have another newsletter until January, first part of January. So look forward to when we get news of that, we'll publish that and we'll have it on our website. And then also we're not having a meeting. We don't meet on the third Tuesday of December either. Gets into the third week of December, things get pretty hectic, and I know in my house they do. I don't know anybody else's. Anyway, so our next main meeting will be in January, the third Tuesday in January, which is the 16th, and then we get John's got a CPA talking about taxes, things we can start getting ready for tax season in January, finding all the deductions you can get and getting your tax returns prepared. So no, that's all I've got. I don't know who wants to start out today. I see we got our two representatives from Soto Property Solutions on here. They're one of our supporting vendors. And I'd like to tell us, Stacy or David, you'd like to tell us about your property management services?
How about before we do that, we get Laura to do our disclaimer here real quickly, and then yeah, just so we don't forget.
I need to put together my checklist to have that on there. Sorry.
Thanks.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to look to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorneys, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Ms. Catherine Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah.
There we go.
Stacy or Dave, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead?
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Stacy Lowe. I work with Soto Property Solutions. We are a full service real estate brokerage. However, we do specialize in property management. So if you have any properties, investment properties in St. Louis or down in the SEMO area around Cape Girardeau, we would love to help you manage them. We do everything from start to finish. So as an owner, you don't have to lift a finger. The only time you hear from us is when you're getting your monthly statement and direct deposit, or if, God forbid, there is a large maintenance issue that comes up. Otherwise, we do it all. We market the property, we take the photos, we do the screening, we hand over keys, we do move in and out inspections, we hold the security deposits, we do everything. We do all the accounting, we oversee all the maintenance. So give me a call if you're interested in hearing more about property management. My office number 636-305-3380. I am extension 311. And then my email is Stacy, STACY @Soto, SOTOPS.com. I'll put all of that in the chat as well. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and if you don't catch it in the chat, you can find our contact information on our website, STLREIA.com. Okay, how's everybody else doing today? Anybody else want to get kicked off to get us started? I got a question. Everybody get their tax bills, real estate tax bills? I guess got mine this past week. They came in and got those taken care of. And and I said in the past, all of my taxes, when they went up from 21 to 30% on my assessments. And I was curious on how much that would affect the final tax bill, because I think there's a state law that says that limits how much of an increase I can have in 1 year from 1 year to the next. And fortunately, my average, on average, my taxes went up only 16.5% instead of the 20-something%, but still a pretty good increase. But fortunately, I won't have to see Carrie at New Frontier Bank about getting one of those end of year tax payment loans she jokingly referred to a couple weeks ago. So we're all good there. Anybody else have any surprises on their tax bills that they weren't expecting? Well, if not, I see you got Melissa Adney here from One Way Construction. How you doing today? I haven't seen you for a while. At least I haven't been on.
Doing great.
Great.
I wanted to let everybody know, well, first, I am Melissa from One Way Roofing and One Way Construction. We are a full service general contracting company. We specialize in roofs, gutters, and siding. However, I wanted to share with you, today I invited a few people. They're not here. They weren't able to get here due to their schedule, but I think that they're going to join us next week. And these are people that I've built relationships with, plumbers, electricians, somebody who refinishes hardwood floors, which I think these people would be a great fit for this group. They're not looking to make $1 million, and I know investors aren't looking to spend $1 million on refinishing their homes. So anyways, hopefully they'll be here next week. If they're not, and you have any needs at all for plumber, let's see here, plumber, electrician, hardwood floors, and then of course me for roof, siding, and gutters, please reach out to me. My phone number is 314-504-1581. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, if you can put that information in the chat, Melissa, that'd be great too. Yeah, I can give a shout out to One Way Roofing. It was a couple years ago now that they put a roof on one of my rentals. Very satisfied with the work they did, and it's holding up fine in there. The inclement weather situations we've had here in the St. Louis area.
Hey, Lloyd, I'll hop in real fast.
Sure, go ahead, Lauren.
Well, I've got a couple things I'll mention that I'm Melissa or anybody. I'd be looking for a painter to do a small apartment this weekend, if possible. This doesn't have to be the best painter in the world. Okay, guys, we get what we've got, and we get the short notice, but someone that would show up, someone we could trust to be in the unit, someone that would keep it inside the lines for the most part, looking for a painter. So if anybody has any suggestions, I'd appreciate that. And I wanted to just speak to the property tax topic. So I had taxes raised on 2 of my properties quite a bit, very substantially. And I just want to shout out Pat Heiser, who I believe did the presentation on how to, what's it called? There's a word.
To appeal the assessments. Yeah.
The whole
Yeah,
appeal process. Yeah. I remember I tried to attend that meeting virtually, and technology wasn't my friend. I ended up reaching out to her. She sent me the packet that she had that night, or somebody did. And literally just following those directions, I navigated the appeals process on a single family home and an 11 unit by myself, had never done anything like it before. and got everything drastically reduced. I didn't get it all. I can't remember my exact results. I was very happy with them. I believe the single family, I didn't get quite all the way back down to where it was, but I think the 11 unit I did. And I don't really get this, but my bill, my actual amount owed is still less, even though the assessed value was a little bit more or the same. So not sure how that works. I'm sure, yeah, I could research it and figure it out, but it just,
Yeah.
thank you, Pat. Thank you to this group. You guys saved me a ton of money. Of course, I did the legwork, but the information was right here. So huge value. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I tried following Pat's guidelines too. It was similar to what I have done before. This is my first time to appeal mine, but I did not have near the success that I've had. I guess I didn't execute as well as Pat does. So she made a better presentation. I did all the legwork. In fact, I had already started the process before Pat's presentation. I went back and basically I redid everything, trying to follow her model.
Yeah.
But still did not get what I was hoping for. I did get one property reduced by a portion of what I was asking for. Of course, I was asking for a pretty good amount because I hadn't protested any of my assessments for years, which bad on me. I should do it every year, at least do a couple properties there every year when they go up. But no, and the fact that you said your taxes went down even though your assessment went up a little bit. Yeah, I think it was called the Hancock Amendment here in Missouri. The local municipalities are limited on how much they can raise the taxes, property taxes from one year to the next. And so that's why when they do the reassessment and it brings everybody's value up, well, they can't, like they said, on my case, they couldn't collect another 20 or 30% more, but they adjusted the tax rate to keep the total collection within the guidelines that the state allows. So
Cool. Well, okay. That's what I had for right now.
okay.
I won't take everything up.
Hey,
right now.
Laura, give me a
Yes.
call. I have 3 painters that I can give you their information, okay?
Will do. I absolutely will do. Actually, might have my partner Josh be the one to call. He's the guy coordinating it. He's awesome. But we will definitely get to you ASAP.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. You're a great asset for having recommendations on subcontractors. Appreciate it. And also with Carrie from New Frontier Bank, do you want to tell us a little bit about your services that New Frontier can offer to
Absolutely.
investors?
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon or good morning, guys. Good to see you all. I'm Carrie Curley. I'm with New Frontier Bank. We provide financing to investors, very specialized in investors, work well through the construction process if that's what you need, and through the permanent financing. We have some great products for the construction part of that with interest only for 12 months or until you get the project completed. So that's always nice to have that. You don't have huge payments while you're trying to get them rented and that type of thing. So yeah, we finance all types. We do lines of credit, equipment, anything else. But yes, I would be happy to talk to anyone who is interested in a loan financing arrangement.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I'll put my information. Oh, I'll say it too. Carrie Curley, New Frontier Bank. My number is 636-940-8740. My email is carrie.kerley@newfb.com. Thanks. I appreciate it, Lloyd.
Okay. Thank you, Carrie.
How's your leg, Carrie?
Thanks for asking, John. Actually, I'm still kind of I'm on a walker still, and kind of transitioning to a cane, but I think I told you guys last time that my body rejected that hardware so that they put in, so the screws were backing out. Just me. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but they do want me to, the bone's not really growing that well. So we're just kind of waiting on that to take place. And then I guess we'll find out if I have to have surgery again. But just can't wait to walk. It's something that I never really, you don't think about those things until you lose them. And even just jumping up and grabbing something is you have to think about it. So getting there, I appreciate you asking, but yeah, still kind of the same.
Well, we should continue to wish you the best on that. I know that's a
Yeah.
lot of recovery. And
Thanks.
you brought up a good point too. A lot of the stuff that we take for granted. A couple months ago, we met Nick Vitchisick. I'm going to butcher his name. The guy with no arms and no legs from Australia, and we got some pictures and got to meet him up front. And every time I think I have a problem, I just scratch my nose. That's something he can't do, and he has no limits. I mean, his book, which I haven't started yet, I have it right here in front of me. And out of all the people we met that day, he's the only one that signed the book. So that just kind of tells you what we take for granted. So we continue to wish you the best with that. I know that's not a fun thing you're going through. And you still got a smile. And we're glad you're here and glad to see that. So thank you.
Mhm.
So
Yep, that's how true. Yeah, we don't appreciate how good we got it until we got some limitations. Okay, anybody else got anything? Looking for a contractor? Got anything to sell, or you're looking to buy? Looking to expand your operations? And
Hey, Lloyd, I don't have any of those, but as we were talking about before I got on before we let everyone in the room,
Mhm.
curious, since I'm taking a contractor to small claims, curious about success rate on recouping your funds. Usually, like if it's a tenant, I just kind of give me my property back and I move on past, receiving the money back, and that's fine. But this contractor actually did no work. So curious about success rate for taking a contractor to small claims.
Anybody had any experience with that? I'm sure if you've been in the business a while. I mean, I have been to small claims court one time before, but it was not with a contractor. It was unfortunately, it was a realtor. But nobody here's had an experience with that. It's good.
I just have a question about that.
Okay.
Amber, were you able to get a copy of their certificate of insurance before they started any work?
We didn't even get that far. So we signed a contract. I paid a deposit for a service. It's a architecture. And no, I did not.
Okay. I'm very sorry to hear that. Just one piece of advice I would offer to everybody is anytime you have somebody do work at your home, just always get a copy of their certificate of insurance. And don't just get a copy of it, then make the additional phone call to the insurance company to make sure that their policy is actually active. Because even myself, I've received a certificate of insurance from somebody that was fake.
Mhm.
So I always call just to make sure. So that is my piece of advice. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, and hope everything works out for you.
that's
Yeah,
great
no.
advice too, because I've seen some fake insurance too. People will get the insurance just to get the deck sheet, and then I've even seen them change the dates on them. So it's a great idea to call. So thanks for sharing that, Melissa. Very good.
Well, and just one more piece, like I think this person really did intend to do the work. I don't know if they're just caught up, but yeah, heard a word back from them. And I say that because the information on the contract we signed is to their house, right? So they are an independent contractor. So I don't think there was any ill will to not do the work. I don't know if they're sick or what, but they're not responding to text messages or emails or anything like that. So I don't think I'll have any issue winning the claim, but I just hate that it has to come to this. So.
Yeah, no, that's not good anytime. I do have since until somebody else comes up with something, I'm gonna be looking for a painting contractor, to paint the exterior of our, my personal house, here next spring. I did some siding repair this fall and I got to looking at the rest of it. Oh yeah, it's about time, Brian. And I looked at my receipts. I think it's been 7 or 8 years since I usually get it repainted about every 5. So, it's due. I know you do siding work, Melissa. Do you any of your crews do exterior painting?
I do have some exterior painters, so yes.
Okay, yeah,
Depending on what type of siding you had, I'm not really sure that I would recommend painting it because you're just gonna keep painting over and over and over.
Yeah, it's not, it's a paintable siding. It's designed to be painted, but just.
Good deal. Yeah, give me a call. I'll pass some information along to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, figured it's a good time of year. The exterior painters are probably starting to slow down right now with the weather. Although yesterday was a pretty good day to be out painting. But start collecting some bids for the spring painting season. Okay, I'll give you a shout out later. Oh, okay, yeah, Mitch from Carrie just put something in about yeah, I was going to be contacting them too. Thank you for that reminder, because they've done work for me before, and they did an interior work and painted a kitchen cabinets for me. Okay, anybody else got anything for us today?
I have a question for the group.
Sure, Heath, go
No
ahead.
one else has something. Yeah. So one thing too with property taxes, I was about half and half. About half of them went down, about half of them, I was able to negotiate something with them. But overall, I still went up about 13%. So the ones that went up quite a bit, and that's just what it is. So we gave it a shot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and if you haven't given it a shot, don't have anything to lose other than your time. But yeah, you wouldn't have got anything. You would not have gotten any relief. And I don't think I've ever been successful at getting everything that I asked for. Even if I ask for something pretty reasonable, they usually the Board of Equalization finds some in between ground that, yeah, okay, we give you a little something, and so
right. If they give you everything, you're probably not asking low enough.
Yeah, that's true.
So one thing I just had a question about, I feel like I'm seeing more things come out about like Venmo and Cash App, and how the banks are or the IRS is gonna start regulating that more. And they're moving from some number to like 5,000 next year. Like if there's 5,000, they're gonna require like a 1099 form for payments that are more than 5,000 through the 2024 year. And now we pay taxes on rent and everything like that, but I'm just wondering, like, is that still a decent way to collect rent, or is that something that people would move away from and say like, hey, I would not recommend Cash App or Venmo or something like that?
Can I add on to that? And I'd like to hear from Carrie. I've heard in other conversations that using those type of outlets does not help you when you're looking for a loan. Is that a true statement? Like, hey, because my tenants pay me, well, 2 of them pay through Cash App, but it's my business Cash App, and that it doesn't look official, if you will.
Amber, does it go through your bank statement?
Yeah, and it links to my business bank statement.
Yeah, I would not have a problem with that at all. How you receive the funds, I mean, and I very rarely ask for bank statements. Mostly what I do, obviously, is internally, interims for the year and tax returns. But, I typically don't ask for bank statements. As long as I have your rent roll and copies of your leases, that's pretty much all I need.
Okay, yeah, I use PayPal as one of John's recommendations. So one of the best things that improvements I've done on getting my rent using the friends and family portion of PayPal. And right now, keep my fingers crossed that it's free. I'm anticipating that there's going to be a day when that there's going to be a charge for that too. But I'm taking advantage of it while it's free.
One of the things you might consider, I know most banks and financial institutions have what they call Zelle, and it's an ability to pay through your online bill pay or send people money or receive money. I don't know if maybe your institution, Amber, was looking for something like that as opposed to, you know, the normal Cash App or PayPal or Venmos or whatever. But like I said, I hadn't heard that. So, but it is an option. Zelle is an option on your financial institution's website.
To most, and the reason I went to for this specific tenant to Cash App actually is how he pays his rent. He has Chase, I believe, and they did not have Zelle.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe the bigger ones, I would think Chase would have something that would be even more, you know, technology sound or whatever, just because as big as they are. But most community banks, most banks that I know of have it. But yeah, those circumstances apparently do happen.
Oh, is there a charge associated with the Zelle system?
No. Mm-mm.
There isn't. Oh, okay. Okay. I've got notices from some of the banks I do business with that, you know, they're adding Zelle or they're encouraging me to use Zelle. I hadn't checked into it yet because I'm satisfied with a situation with PayPal. But okay, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah,
Square's
I
a
think
good one,
Zelle
too.
is.
Go ahead, Keith.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think Zelle is more official. So it's like the bank's version of Venmo or PayPal or something like that. So they can track it and they approve of it and everything. It's not a third party system. So I think they're okay with that. But then I think some of the other ones are more outliers.
Thank you, Heath. Yeah, we accept a lot of them. Square is a pretty good one because they'll take any debit card or credit card, and it's easy to set up. I know we have some other ones too. I had one guy from a credit union up, I think he was from Wisconsin, that used Pop Money, and that one is a little bit of a pain to get set up. But once I got set up, it was pretty easy and like clockwork. In fact, they didn't stop it even after he paid off his property. They sent me like 2 more payments, so we had to reverse that. But that was pretty easy. But yeah, Zelle's no cost. There's Venmo, it didn't cost anything either. Most of them have a cost. And Lloyd, you brought up PayPal. The thing you got to be cautious with that, with friends and family, if you're taking it as a business, you may want to be really careful how you tell them that, because that's actually considered fraud if it is strictly a business. Now, what people decide, they can do whatever they want, because I do have a person buying some property for me, and she sets it up that way, but she had reversed that and changed it because they threatened her to come after her for I think it's a federal crime. I'm not sure, but it was a fraud if it's not truly friends and family. So just be aware of that. Be cautious. But yeah, most of them charge you money. I think Square just actually raised theirs. It's like 3.4%, I believe. And you know, you just have to keep that in mind. It's kind of like your sewer bill. If you're collecting rent, you may want to work all that in because you're going to pay for it one way or the other, or somebody is. So just be aware of the charges. And I know you can still take cash in some places. With Carrie not wanting to, you know, not worried about your bank records. Maybe you could do it that way still, as long as you claim it. I know we claim a lot of cash that there's no way they'd know we would have. And many years ago, I was told by a guy who was he was a CPA, but he was ex-IRS, and he said the biggest way to keep from getting audited is to claim something there's no way that they would ever know you have, such as even jury duty, because that's not reported as income. So if you report that stuff and you get it, and I know we do a lot of stuff, and I just tell them, you know, because we do accept a lot of cash. And I've never been audited, knock on wood, but that I don't know if that's going to keep you or anything. And it's probably different now because they're changing everything. But the reporting is very, you know, that is something that you got to keep in mind. So I just tell people all the time, anytime somebody brings something new to me, you know, a way to get paid that I don't know about, I say, sure, we accept it. And I figure out how to do it. You know, so I'll take money any way you want to give it to me. So
So John, I have a
Yvette?
question. Yeah,
Sure.
so yeah, I have both PayPal and Cash App. And now did you say that it should be it's friends and family? I mean, kind of explain that again now. I mean, do you have to claim the
Well, with PayPal, they have a thing where you could do friends and family, like you can send money to somebody, friends and family, and they don't charge you anything. If it's a commercial transaction, then they require you to do that. So you'll just have to see what they say. Now, if somebody chooses to be your friend or, friend down the road, that's totally up to you. I would just use some caution doing that, because if you just tell somebody to automatically do that, then you could be crossing that line and it could be considered fraud. So,
oh my goodness, I didn't
just
know
something
that.
to be aware of.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And
I'm
I
sorry,
do
can
not
I interrupt here with something? It
Sure.
would always be fraud if you are not claiming business transactions on your taxes, period. I'm a tax preparer with a lot of experience. I am not a CPA and I'm not a lawyer, but it is definitely, the IRS will consider it fraud for any income that you don't report. Whether you have your own business or you are an Uber driver or whatever, it's considered fraud, period. So as long as you are honest about which of your transactions are personal and which of your transactions are business, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. That only comes into play if not, and I'm saying you as a general statement, and also I want to make a quick disclaimer that I am not a CPA or an attorney, so please don't consider this legal advice. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, because I do have, I mean, I don't have anything with friends and family. It is strictly, real estate. So, but I am not paying any fees for that. So that's why I'm just trying to get a clear understanding.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
The fees portion, this I'm pretty familiar with most platforms. That fee you only pay if it's a business transaction, supposedly, but it doesn't, as long as you're reporting your income, it doesn't matter. The fee, but the fee would be tax deductible if you are paying any fees on your
oh yeah, I understand. Okay, I got it.
so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not fraud
So,
because you're not paying fees. It's only fraud if you're not reporting business income.
yeah, I'm reporting everything. So yeah, I'm okay then. Yeah.
One thing about the
And-
fees too, I know with Square, and that's something I didn't know when I first started using it years ago, but be really careful when you get your statements at the end of the year, because they will send you a 1099 form without the fees deducted. I have to physically go in there and deduct them. So that may not seem like much, but depending on how much money you get from them when they make the direct deposits, they count, like, let's say you have $1,000 that you got in rent or whatever your business transaction is, they will count the full $1,000, even though they subtracted the 3.4% or the $34. So just be aware of that, because that may not seem like much, but it adds up to several $1,000s at the end of the year. So that's just something.
Yes. So if you're doing your own taxes, or let your preparer know that, if you pay fees, yeah, they usually don't take that out. They give you a 1099 for the whole amount, and they are actually doing it correctly. They're supposed to give you a 1099 for the entire amount, and then you use the fees. The fees for you are in the deduction section. If they are giving it to you with the fees taken out, they're doing it wrong, but there's really nothing you can do about it except like make a note of it to the IRS, because the IRS hardly ever enforces incorrect, stuff with incorrect 1099. So they're not supposed to do it. But make sure you check and see if they're taking the fees out or not.
Okay, that's great information. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Renee. Thank you for that information. I can rest a little easier now. I got a little concerned when John told me it might be community fraud.
Yeah, so did I, Lord. I'm like, oh my
God.
good. Yeah.
I just was trying to avoid that 3% fee. I mean, I don't even raise my rents.
Those are PayPal terms. So that's what you need to read.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know
I'll take
about the IRS the difference there, but I do know when you get your 1099s, it is the full amount. So
Honestly, it's like one of my criminal justice instructors said about the IRS. The IRS does not care where your income comes from. If you are a drug dealer, you are supposed to write every penny that you make, write your occupation as drug dealer. The IRS does not care. The CIA, the FBI, and the rest of law enforcement will care, but the IRS just wants you to report your income. So as long as you are honestly reporting your income and expenses, you won't be getting in trouble with the IRS.
you know.
But they can do that to anybody.
One of the things
And
that I want to
again-
mention, if I can, one of the things I want to mention is make sure that, when you guys, I know, it's common in the industry, you guys get cash, that kind of thing. But if you're looking to borrow, make sure that you're reporting. You can't have both. You can't, not pay Uncle Sam and expect lenders to, want to finance your properties. You have to be able to cash flow, and you have to be able to show, that you make a living, these properties cash flow. So, just keep that in mind, because there'll be customers that, well, I make, more than this. Well, I get that, but the only thing I can go off of is your tax return. So just keep in mind, you can't have both. So that's all I wanted to add.
Mhm. Good input. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, good. All around, good discussion. In fact, I'm going to take a closer look at PayPal's terms when they're sending me. It seems like once a month they're sending me their new terms. I need to go to the website and actually read them one of these days. And then since I was always thinking that the other bank, all of them charged. The bank apps charged a fee, but thank you for educating me on Zelle and Venmo.
Venmo charges just if you want it immediately, right? But if you wait 2 or 3 days, they don't charge you.
Okay, well, that's like PayPal. Yeah, I could pay a big fee too if I wanted to get it immediately, but I get my rent deposit.
Venmo also
3 days
has the option that you can set up a business account, just like PayPal, in which case you are taking that money in and they would charge you a fee as well. So as long as you're paying your taxes, it sounds like the only people that would be upset would be the Venmo or the PayPal or Cash App or whoever's not getting their service charge,
right,
if it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they don't care too much because they're seeing that much rent money come in and saying, fine, go ahead.
So far, and they get to hold it for the extra 3 days.
Oh yeah, they're probably making some money.
They're making
on
a
those 3
lot of
days of
money
interest
off of my rents, and everybody else's rents are holding it for three days. So okay, good discussion here. Anybody else got anything? Well, if not, been a good some good discussions here. Hope I've got a few people got some references to some contractors, and I got one, and have to follow up on those, and good information on payment plans too. So John, Laura, Amber, anybody else got any final words for us today?
Just remember, our January meeting will have a CPA, so bring your tax questions.
Yeah, I got more tax questions. Save them up. Yeah, we'll have I'm sure I'll have a few more. Really save up some of mine. Is it end of January? I'm getting my records together and getting ready to send it over to my CPA. So always got some questions, and we've had good when we have CPAs in the past. I got a lot of good information. I remember one time he mentioned about general expenses, and I was always insured. I don't use the office in my home deduction, but I was always unsure. Well, how can I use these things that are I can apply generally? Say if I buy a new lockbox, and I'll go around to different properties or I buy some lawn equipment to cut multiple lawns on, how can I get that reported in my expenses rather than just in one? And one of the CPAs that spoke at our group that year said, oh, you do an allocation, you set up a separate file for allocation, just put all those in allocation, and then you allocate, and you put that under line 19 for allocated expenses. And following tax year, when I was getting ready to send over thing to my CPA, hey, can I do this? Oh, sure, you can do that. He didn't volunteer it, but until I asked. So she brought up some good points of gives it things you can ask your CPA, and hey, how about doing this, and save me a lot of time as far as trying to figure out which property I should put those expenses under. But anyway, so get a lot of good information coming in January. See everybody here next Friday. Got a few more Fridays before the holiday break here, but good to see everybody here, and look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for coming.
All right. Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care. Bye-bye.